I call the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure to order. Today, the committee will consider GSA Capital Investment Leasing Program resolutions, and we will now consider the 6 General Services Administration Capital Investment Leasing Program resolutions. I ask unanimous consent to call up the resolutions in block and that they be considered as read and open to amendment at any point. Is there a rejection? Without an objection, so ordered. I want to thank Chairman Barletta and Ranking Member Carson for their continued efforts to save taxpayer money and for their work on these resolutions. Included among the resolutions are considering today is the FBI headquarters consolidation. The project, if managed appropriately, can save the taxpayer and the FBI significant funds. The new headquarters consolidation consolidates the FBI from 14 locations to a single facility and cuts its office space from 3 million to 2 million square feet. This will greatly improve the FBI's security posture and its operations and save money. But because of the size and the complexity of the project, it'll be important to ensure there is strong congressional oversight to keep the project on time and on budget. We worked on a bipartisan basis to ensure our resolution is consistent with the current plan and provides common sense parameters to ensure there is appropriate oversight of the project. In addition to the savings that the FBI will realize from its consolidation, the resolutions we are considering today represent nearly $60 million in savings from reduced lease costs. These are common sense resolutions, and I appreciate the hard work that has gone into them. I recognize Subcommittee Chairman Barletta to explain the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are considering 6 GSA resolutions approving 4 leases and 2 construction projects. Key among them is the FBI headquarters consolidation. From the beginning, I said that we must ensure there is fair competition and that the project must work for both the FBI and the taxpayer. What makes this project challenging is it is not a simple construction project of a single building. The project will be a secure campus with separate visitor screening, its own utility plant, and specialized security requirements. In the end, the FBI will reduce its headquarters real estate footprint from 3 million to 2 million square feet and a 33% cut in office space. It will also allow the FBI to more efficiently and effectively carry out its mission. Because of the complexity of this project, oversight and accountability become even more critical to ensure the project is delivered within budget. This resolution helps to ensure that continued oversight and accountability. I want to thank Chairman Schuster and Ranking Members DeFazio and Carson for working together with us on these resolutions. I support approval of these resolutions.
Thank Chairman Barletta. With that, I recognize Member DeFazio for a statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have concerns about 2 of the resolutions. I certainly support the new headquarters for the FBI, the consolidation, and I believe that generally the provisions for and restrictions for the new building are pretty well thought out, particularly citing it so that it can take advantage of mass transit. But I am concerned that they've come up with this bizarre construct where they're going to try and get someone to bid on buying the old FBI headquarters and building the new one. I think pairing the 2 is stupid. It's going to potentially, it's certainly going to limit the number of people who are interested in constructing and bidding on the new FBI headquarters. I'm concerned that we won't get full value for the downtown property, and I assume that this is being done by GSA because they don't want to ask for an appropriation for the entire new project, so they're just going to muddy up the waters here and mush the 2 together. So I'm concerned that that is going to be very problematic, and I certainly want the committee to be very actively involved in overseeing this process. And then secondly, the Anniston Courthouse. I've been kind of very critical for my entire tenure on this committee about sort of the palatial some of the palatial courthouses that have been built. In the old days, we were building courthouses based on projected number of judges, not actual number of judges. We were building courtrooms and robing chambers. I mean, in the courthouse my office is in Eugene, the judge's robing chamber is pretty much bigger than my office. And I mean, these kind of things are pretty absurd. In this case, the Anniston Courthouse, we have an existing historic courthouse. I'm sure it does have issues regarding security, but we're going to build a new courthouse with no apparent active federal judge to occupy it. There is one bankruptcy judge who I don't think needs a $42 million courthouse, and then the one judge who lives in town is on the verge of taking senior status. I'm concerned whether this is an appropriate use of taxpayer money, a necessary project. I'm going to continue to work with GSA to make certain that this courthouse is fully utilized, and also that they develop a plan for the historic courthouse, which they have not yet done, that will be disposed of. But at this point, I will not object to the resolution moving forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I thank the gentleman. With that, recognize Mr. Carson for a statement. Okay. Do any other members wish to be recognized?
Don Edwards.
I'm sorry. Ms. Edwards?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm really grateful to be here today at the final markup for the Transportation Infrastructure Committee for the 114th. And as it turns out, my final markup after 8.5 years on this committee since I began in Congress. I want to thank you and Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member DeFazio for the way the committee has worked together in a bipartisan fashion under both your leadership. Sometimes it's worked and sometimes leadership has stepped in, but that's the way of this committee and the institution, and I'm proud to have served on this committee and its operations. If I didn't know better, Mr. Chairman, I'd say that this was a going away present for me to keep me quiet on federal leases in Maryland. When I came to this committee in 2008, I first expressed my concerns about the differing rent cap differences in the Washington metropolitan area and the need for a greater federal presence in both Prince George's and Montgomery counties in Maryland in this capital region, both for the taxpayers and the benefit of the taxpayers. And I appreciate that I've been able to continue to express that concern over the years and to have worked with you, with Chairman Barletta, with Ranking Members DeFazio and Carson to address these deficiencies and shortcomings. It is amazing to know that we had a markup scheduled on December 4th, 2013 to authorize the GSA to find the new FBI headquarters. I recall that at that point there were 20-plus FBI locations in the region along with the Hoover Building downtown. I have to admit that when I first saw the prospectus in 2013, I wondered if that was a way for GSA to potentially not complete a total consolidation of those various FBI locations into one headquarters. Our public servants of the FBI deserve one consolidated facility that honors their commitment, provides the best environment to achieve their vital missions, and makes the best use of taxpayer money. All of us in the Maryland delegation, including, of course, and our Governor Larry Hogan, believe that Prince George's County offers exactly that and is the right choice for the FBI headquarters, but that is a choice for the FBI in the future. And our work today is to make sure that there's a governing document that moves forward to allow the consolidation to take place. I'm proud of the county I live in, and so I won't talk about that because I've done that in the committee before, but let's just say that next year I hope that the future of the FBI is in Prince George's County. Lastly, I know, Mr. Chairman, that you stated previously that you want to increase competition and get the best deal for taxpayers in light of our fiscal constraints. And so it's really time for us to finally move forward, bring our 21st century FBI and its personnel out of its 20th century buildings, surroundings, and technology. And I am grateful that we've been able to move forward with this as the last piece of business for the 114th Congress. I thank you. I thank you for, Mr. Chairman, for always having an open ear to the concerns that I've raised on this committee, and I appreciate my colleagues and the benefit of having served for the 8.5 years that I've been in the Congress on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and I know that the work that has to be done in the future is the core to making sure that our economy moves forward, and this is an important piece of it. Thank you, and I yield the balance of my time.
I thank the gentlelady from Maryland and appreciate her service. We're going to miss her input on the committee. So with that, I recognize Mr. Micah.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I heard Donna giving her swan song and enjoyed working with her and thought also, as she spoke about her last committee hearing and meeting, that this is also mine. I don't have a dog in this particular fight, but do support the resolutions and what we've done, and glad that she is being accommodated. As I reflect on 24 years, it's probably the greatest experience of my life. This committee has an incredible mission, and I see you've added some of that mission to the walls here, Mr. Chairman, which looks great and reminds everybody of our important responsibility. And we've done some great projects, incredible. I think that making America's infrastructure great again is going to be an awesome challenge in the next couple of years, but a great opportunity to do some wonderful things for people that we represent in building the country's infrastructure. So I don't have a moment of regret. I just have many moments of thanks and appreciation to staff who had to put up with me, and members. I think we leave this in great hands. We got an incredible chairman. We've got subcommittee chairs and members who are awesome and taking on this important responsibility. I will leave, I always leave with a final challenge, and I have committed to work on this come high water or the depths of hell, and that is the conversion of the FTC building to the National Gallery North Wing. I want to thank you, and I'd ask also at this point in the record that we leave a copy of the letter that you had submitted to GSA with others, because it is a pending matter and requires the action of this committee, and we'll give you a copy of that letter. But each of us can leave some little legacy. Probably mine here is the Visitor Center, which took more than a dozen years, but it's the largest addition in the history of the Capitol. For future generations, we have an opportunity to take a building that is old and can actually save taxpayers money, and taking the FTC, moving it into the what is now the Department of Commerce, which is being renovated. It's about $1.5 million at least square feet, and part of it has been renovated, part of it will be renovated, and we can move the Federal Trade Commission, which will have a nice view of the White House from that wing. Right now they have a view of the Capitol, but we can also make our National Gallery the finest in the world. It is constrained in its current location. It's really the only way it can be expanded and become a world-class place for everyone from kids to families. If you ever go down there on a weekday or weekend, you'll see that we house America's treasures, and we've neglected providing for the next phase of that opportunity to show what we possess for the American people. So the FTC building, converting it, moving them over will save taxpayer dollars and give us this great legacy for you. So that's the one project I'll be working with you on, Mr. Chairman, and others. We have that yet to do, and I'm fully committed to it. I thank you again for the courtesies extended to me and the honor of serving on this great committee, and I yield back permanently the balance of my time. And that's unusual because I got 40 seconds left.
I thank the gentleman, and I would say publicly, and I've said this many times, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair if it wasn't for Chairman Micah taking me under his wing, giving me some training and guidance at times. But so I thank you. I'm deeply indebted to you forever for helping me get to this position in Congress. So.
Oh, P.S. I didn't say anything about Mr. DeFazio. And is he still here?
No, he left.
Oh, he left, darn it. I wanted to egg him one more time, but we were both partly Italian heritage, so we both have that little bit of emotion. But we've had our ups and downs, but he cares about the committee, and he cares about infrastructure and the American people. And I salute everybody on the other side of the aisle that joined him in that effort. Thank you.
I didn't notice you guys have a Italian fire in you. But no, we appreciate your service and, again, your leadership on the committee. Again, you will be missed. In the FTC building, I've been there. It absolutely is the right thing to do. Chairman Mike has been working on that for a number of years. I'm going to continue to work on it because I think it's the right thing to do. And I was going to say we should name it after you, but you have to die first.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to encourage anything like that happening anytime soon.
Mr.
but,
Chairman,
yes, gentlemen.
may I ask that our fellow colleagues and staff and all the visitors in the room give our two fine colleagues who are leaving a round of applause?
Well, let me just say there's more than two. Let me hold the applause. Let me get through the list real quick.
Richard, I forgot, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the committee's leaving, the members not coming back. Chairman Micah, Candace Miller from Michigan, Richard Hanna from New York, Reed Ribble from Wisconsin, Crescent Hardy from Nevada, Corinne Brown, Florida, Donna Edwards, Maryland, Ann Kirkpatrick, Arizona? Arizona, that's what I thought. And Janice Hahn, who's already gone. She's already taken her new duties as the supervisor for Los Angeles County. So she has a big job out there in California. So to all of our members, we appreciate your efforts, your commitment to the committee, your input, your valuable input. Thank you, and my door is always open. So if you come back this way for a cup of coffee or you need to explain something I've done wrong, I'll be happy to listen to you. So again, with that, I take Mr. cue from Mr. Davis and offer an applause for the folks that are leaving. Again, any other members wish to be recognized? Mr. Hanna, final thoughts? Okay. I do want to mention before we're going to finish up here quickly, we did have up there, put on the wall, the Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, which I believe really states there, all three of those things, a common defense, help to regulate the commerce, and establish post roads are things this committee's done. And, the name of the National Highway System, there's a piece of it called the Strategic Defense Highway System. Again, that's part of what we do. And then over on the other wall is Adam Smith, The Wealth of Nations, talking about erecting and maintaining certain public works. And again, it's not to be the benefit of any individual or small number of individuals, but it benefits the entire nation. So again, I think those are two charges that we have. I've only been trying to get those up for about 3 years. So, the next chairman, or those of you that want to be the chairman, just know things still move slow when you do something as simple as that. Maybe it was my problem. Maybe I couldn't make a decision, but I don't know if that's the case or the bureaucracy. But any reason, I thought that was appropriate to have those up on the walls, that we can see them as we're doing our business, and it's been throughout our history. Something that's been part of the federal charge to build our infrastructure system to connect the nation. So with that, we will now consider the resolutions for amendment. Are there any amendments to the resolution? Seeing none, I ask Mr. Barletta for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the 6 committee resolutions be approved en bloc.
Questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed signify by saying nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is agreed to. The resolution is approved. Again, I want to wish everybody a very happy holiday season, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. I guess I'll see some of you, on the floor in the next 2 days, but then most of us will be back January 3rd to start anew. So again, thank you all very much. I ask unanimous consent that the staff be authorized to make all necessary technical, clarifying, and conforming changes to each of the concurrent resolutions ordered reported and the committee resolutions, views, and estimates adopted today to reflect the actions of the committee. Without objection, so ordered. Pursuant to Rule 5 of the Rules of the Committee of Transportation and Infrastructure, Chair notes presence of a quorum for actions taken on all committee business today. With that, the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure has completed its business for the day and the year and the Congress, and the committee is adjourned. Thank you. No, appreciate it. Thank you. Seriously, whatever you.